enemy may have a missile, but we have Machete.
Machete Kills. That's what he does.
Machete Kills, the sequel to Robert Rodriguez's grindhouse spin-off Machete, stars Danny Trejo as his signature role Machete, as an agent of the US government working to take down a madman with a nuke pointed directly at the capital of the United States. With the president played by Charlie Sheen and Alexa Vega thrown in, we're in for one heck of an adventure. I'm Vegas Uboldi, and this is Ben Silverio. So Ben, what did you think of the movie?
Well, it was interesting.
To say the least.
Right, because the first one had a very specific message, you know, and you knew what you were getting because it was basically what we saw in the Grindhouse trailer. So this one, we didn't really know what to expect. So Robert Rodriguez just threw everything at us.
Literally every trope in the book was included in this movie. We had a bit of sci-fi, we had a bit of grindhouse. We had a lot of sci-fi, a lot of grindhouse, a lot of crazy action scenes, James Bond inspirations taken here. So there's really a mishmash of all kinds of interesting stuff.
Right, and to top that all off, the cast was pretty incredible. You know, some pretty big names. Sofia Vergara from Modern Family, Carlos Estevez.
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
I know him as the President of the United States.
And as you mentioned, your favorite, Alexa Vega.
Alexa Vega as Killjoy, who has... She has a minor role in the movie, but she owns it, and I think that came across in the interviews and like the role. But I felt like they should have given her more because she is perfect.
Well, they did give her more. It started off as one line.
One line, and then they developed her into the whole role. But I think the entirety of the cast did a really great job of selling the over-the-topness. Now, relative to the first movie, though, where I felt like there was a lot more chemistry between the characters, this movie, I believe, was shot a lot faster, and a lot of the characters weren't even in the same room when they were shooting the same scenes.
Right, I believe Robert Rodriguez said it was about 29 days.
29 days of shooting,
as opposed to like 100 days on the average
for an average action movie. Yeah. So I felt like a lot of that chemistry that was in the first movie, that those bonding moments between Machete and Michelle Rodriguez's character, was lost. And like, you know, on the one hand, you do get like great one-liners and cool action-y moments, but on the other hand, you kind of lose that connection with Machete and the human world around him.
Right. When you kind of think about all the off-the-wall stuff that happens in this movie, El Chameleon comes to mind.
Yes.
Because of the different faces that
Who
he takes.
plays El Chameleon?
Oh,
That's
man.
the question.
How many different actors?
4.
There are 4?
It's Cuba Gooding Jr., Antonio Banderas, Lady Gaga, and Walt Goggins.
Right.
Are the 4.
Yeah.
Playing one single character.
Who was your favorite face?
Oh, that's so hard because I really liked Cuba Gooding Jr. because I did not see that one coming, and I did not see Cuba Gooding Jr. in a Robert Rodriguez film. But I think he pulled it off magnificently, and he was just casual and like interesting, and he kind of was off-putting while being friendly at the same time. So I thought that was really interesting. And Antonio Banderas is great as always, just playing this.
And Lady
character.
Gaga surprised me a little bit. I didn't think she would be, you know.
She was definitely surprising, and I think as a screen presence she was good. But I think we can both agree she doesn't have the best acting chops.
Right.
Relative to the
not
other.
yet.
Yeah, not yet. We'll after a few movies maybe.
Right.
But it was fun to see her presence on screen because the scene where she actually is introduced, I think there were cheers in the audience because it was just such a great moment. But the other notable names, Mel Gibson was in the cast. And he plays kind of, I'd like to say a Steve Jobs-esque character, just like a revolutionary in a tech giant who's kind of has his own agenda, but he kind of seems like, you know, a stereotypical James Bond villain.
Right, I saw more like a Tony Stark, you know,
an
industrialist, you know, a man who creates things to make things better, but in reality, he's kind of bettering himself.
And I think he definitely has the most interactions with Danny Trejo's character, and I think those interactions are a lot of where the funniest lines in the movie and the most entertaining dialogue moments happen.
Right, and you know, aside from the somewhat cheesy dialogue at points, the action sequences are just so good.
So over the top. Like the first Machete, you had, you know, everyone was like shocked when he came out and he sliced 3 guys' heads off. Now after that bar, they had to somehow top that, and I think they did very well. Like some of those scenes were just beautifully conceived, and even like the smaller touches, like the electrical box scene. There's some smaller scenes where he kills maybe 1 or 2 guys, which are really well done, and there's some big scenes where he kills hundreds of people. I wouldn't say hundreds, but like about 50 guys, and he just like completely wrecks through them, and it's entertaining to watch, and it's done in a visually dynamic way. They weren't really tied together as well as they were in the first one, but I felt like they're memorable, and you won't really forget them soon.
Right. So overall, what were your general feelings of Machete Kills?
So overall, I think the movie did a great job of having those memorable action scenes, but it didn't hold together as well as I would have enjoyed it, and it definitely took some strange creative decisions towards the end. So I would give it a 4 beheadings out of 5.
Right. Well, you know, one thing that I really liked about Machete Kills was that you didn't really need to see the first one to understand this one. You can go into it blind and still enjoy it for what it was. But, you know, going along with what you said, the story was kind of, you know, all over the place and, I mean, in space.
Yeah.
In space. So, I mean, I did enjoy it, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3.
For more on Pretentious Film Majors, movie news, reviews, and other content, check us out on pretentiousfilmmajors.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.